What's up, everybody, to a very late episode of the Moose Smoke Podcast. Our
So late.
apologies.
Samuel L. Jackson's stunt double.
That's me, Billy. I look just like him.
You do. There's a shocking resemblance.
Yeah, buddy. Frank Reynolds is this girl. Yeah, apologies for being late, but Matt
Sorry.
was a busy boy.
It's my fault.
No, it's all good, man. Like I said, it's all good. I just anybody that was staying up this late, thank you for staying up this late.
Yes, thank you.
Otherwise,
nice.
Grab the show tomorrow. It's all good.
It's true.
This
True
is the
story.
Moose Smoke Podcast, episode 118, and we will be talking
son.
Secret Invasion premiere tonight, as well as Always Sunny.
As well as Always Sunny.
But yeah, how are you? How was Jimmy Carr?
Jimmy Carr was pretty funny. It's very untraditional stand-up, though. Like, usually with stand-up comedy, it's like you go there, they say it starts at this time, it actually starts at this time. Opener goes on, does 20 minutes, person comes on, does an hour, and it's done.
Right.
He had no opener.
Ooh, weird.
He had a theme song, which was weird.
That's super weird.
And he did 2 hours.
Holy shit.
And like, do you know him? Do you know his stuff or no?
A little bit. I'm not. I think I've seen one of his stand-ups.
Yeah. So like, he's not like a storyteller. Like, he's not like, you don't like stick around for a joke and then like pay off with a punchline down the road. Like, it's like, here's a joke, here's another joke, here's another joke, here's another joke. They're all just like one-liners, basically. It's kind of very similar in style to like Mitch Hedberg.
Right.
Where it's just like joke. No stories, just jokes. But yeah, it was good. Like, it was funny. Like, he was funny, but it's just, after like 2 hours, you're just like, all right, that's fucking.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit long, but
yeah.
I mean, I think it's better when you have like an opener, just because like it kind of mixes up like the styles of comedy you're getting, right? Like, if you have a few openers.
Totally.
I mean, when I seen fucking Australian Jim Jeffries, the one opener was really funny and the other opener I thought was really bad. And I mean, I think there's always a risk of that, but like you kind of get different styles, different kinds of humor, and I think that like kind of wakens up the crowd for like the main event kind of thing. And I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he would have been better off with an opener, but
yeah, I guess when you're going 2 hours, you don't want a fucking comedy show to be 3 hours long or whatever. But
I guess, or maybe just don't do 3 hours.
No, I agree. Like, I agree, but
probably not necessary. Again, it'd be different if he was telling stories, but because it's just a joke, it's just bit after bit. It's
like Kevin Smith, right? Like, Kevin Smith goes long in the tooth all the time, but like he tells these epically long stories that are like 45 minutes of a story, and then it's like, all right, that'd be the end of the fucking stand-up show. So I've seen Kevin Smith like I think 3 times, and like he always just goes he just goes on tangents forever. But it's great. I'm glad that was fun.
It was okay. Yeah, it was good. Like, would I go see him again? Probably not, but he was pretty funny though. Like, there's a good part where he was like, who here is anti-vax? Like,
Jim Jeffries did the same bit almost.
Yeah, and then one person was like, woo! Right? Like, yeah, thanks for supporting me. And then he just did like a minute and a half of just like fucking like destroying this guy, right? And he's like, yeah, well, have fun dying of polio or whatever, like, or have fun watching your kid die at the age of 6 or something like that. Like,
it's terrible, but it's so true.
It was pretty funny. Yeah, he did a couple Titanic jokes too with the that current.
It's so stupid. Like, me and my sister and her boyfriend were talking about it earlier, and it's like, it's just the dumbest fucking thing. It's just, as bad as like I feel about people dying in a tragedy, like, you're fucking morons.
I agree.
Why would you get in this thing? You're rich. Why would you want this like fucking tiny little vessel to see a fucking ship that's been sunk 100 years ago? Watch the fucking movie and be over with it. Why waste $250,000?
Totally.
And then like it's bolted from the outside. That's a bad idea. Don't like that. It's controlled by like a $30 Mad Catz controller. Why? If I saw that and they're like, yeah, this is how we steer it, I'd be like, I'm out.
Well, the fact that it was prorated for like a 1,500-meter depth, and like the Titanic is like 11,000 or something. Yeah. It's like, yeah, maybe.
I'll pass.
Yeah.
I don't understand any part of it. Like, why this like millionaire guy that's running this company is getting like $1 million per like group to go down, and he can't invest in a better system here. Like, come on. It's crazy. You deserve to get fucking imploded. I'm sorry at that point. Like, it's your own stupidity.
Well, that part I can't disagree with. It's funny because that Titanic song by Celine Dion is like trending right now too on the charts.
There's a video game, like a horror video game, I guess, on Steam for PC that's like about like a submarine, like a horror game that's involved like going down in the depths of a submarine, and it's like trending number one on Steam. Now? Yeah,
that's so funny.
And then the developer came out and was like, I feel bad about this, but I'm like, yep, make that money, boy.
That's funny.
Yeah, fucking stupid. So stupid.
Yep, I agree. But you know, that's people these days, right?
Yeah, it's just we deserve our own fucking deaths. I don't know. What else did you get up to this week? I'm hot as hell. I should not have worn this fucking jersey. I'm sweating like a fucking pig.
Nips out, boy.
Yeah, I'm ready to just like rip off the shirt and just do the rest of the show nude. But anyway, continue.
This week I didn't get to a ton, but I did get to some stuff. I did watch a bit more Ted Lasso. We got up to season 2, episode 3.
How you liking it? Still good?
I love it, but yeah, we don't have Apple TV now, so we probably won't get to finish it. So, but at least we got up to a bit. I love it. Honestly, after every episode, it just is fucking like, it's like so heartwarming. It's just so
totally it gives you a good feeling.
Nice. Oh God, after everything, like especially that first season. The second season isn't really hitting as hard as the first season did.
Yeah.
But the first season, it's just like, yeah, fuck man. It's really good. It's really good.
I don't think you ever got around to it, but like you should watch Welcome to Wrexham because it's gonna give you the same vibes.
Was it? Yeah. The one we finished with watching was the one where the guy from Nigeria boycotts Dubai Air and like tapes over his jersey, and then the rest of it. Like as soon as Jamie like goes and tapes up the shirt, I was just like I fucking actually had like a tear. I was just like, fuck yeah, man. I fucking love this.
Jamie's like such like a dickhead, but like you love him. Like it's just so well acted. Like
I didn't before, but like this season I'm already coming around. And just the fact that he like, you know, cheers to him at the end there too. And it's just like, it's good, man. It's nice. I love like anything like that where you have like somebody who like a coach or someone who is like inspirational enough to like change somebody's like who they actually are at the core of themselves and be able to like make them question like, why am I such a fucking asshole? And like,
yeah, it only becomes more of that. Like season 3 really hits that home. But
nice. I will eventually get to it. I said to Kate, let's cancel some stuff and like
I don't think it's overly expensive for Apple. Like I think it's only like
I mean, we could probably just get through the rest of it in a month. So
for sure, I think it's only like $10 a month or something like that. I don't think it's crazy.
Yeah.
No, it's great. I honestly like I probably said this over the last few weeks. Apple's well worth the money. Like I think it's the best streaming service right now.
Nice.
Per capita,
we may do that because I want to watch Shrinking too. So
Shrinking's great, and you should also watch Platonic. I think Kate would like it too.
Oh, that's the one with Seth
Rogen and what's her face, Rose Byrne.
Yeah.
It's great. It's awesome. It's so funny.
Yeah. So we'll see. But yeah, I really liked Ted Lasso a lot. So
it's great.
Yeah, it was very good. Obviously I watched our 2 topics for the week, Always Sunny and Secret Invasion. I continued watching South Park. I watched pretty much all of season 11 and 12 over the last like 8 days probably.
Nice.
So yeah, that's been good. And then the other show that we've been watching is one of Kate's shows that, you know, it's fine. I don't like dislike it. I don't care that much. Is Happy Valley. It's like a British,
don't know, like
police drama, I guess, or something. I don't know.
I might like that.
Yeah, it's okay. It's whatever.
Nice.
That's all I watched. What about you?
Well, I've been a busy boy. So I think I kind of mentioned it last week, but I've been working on my garage, and I kind of have like a little mini movie theater going on in my garage now that I've put a lot of work into. So I've been watching a shit ton of movies in there because it's like I got a little projector that was like cheap as shit on Amazon, and yeah, so I got like a big, like, I don't know, 110-inch screen now in there, projection wise. So I've been just watching movies, and so I started the week off with Speed.
Nice. I haven't seen Speed since it came out.
It holds up, man. It's so fucking good.
Does it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great movie. Sandra Bullock.
I was gonna say I really like Sandra Bullock in that movie. So
yeah, man. Keanu's Keanu. It's excellent. Nice. Then the next night I watched Star Trek: First Contact.
Nice.
Which is, I think, the best Star Trek movie.
I'm not a Trekkie, so I can't speak to it, but
I think you'd like First Contact. It's great. It's really good. You don't have to like know Star Trek to enjoy it. Like it's pretty standalone, and yeah, I don't know.
Is that the first one with Chris Pine?
No. It's just Star Trek. I think it's like, oh fuck, I don't even know what year it was. 2009.
Yeah,
I think
that's the only Star Trek I've ever watched.
I enjoyed that movie, J.J. Abrams joint, but yeah, no, this is like way before that. This is with Patrick Stewart as Picard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Then I went on a Terminator binge, and I watched Terminator 3, Terminator Salvation, and Terminator Genesis 3, 4, and 5. I know that like everybody.
Why you would start in those? I don't
because know, I've seen Terminator 1 and Terminator 2 probably 64,000 times. Okay,
that's fine. I can even skip Terminator 1. I would start at 2, but
Neil in the chat, no way that bus clears that unfinished road in Speed. Bunch of bullshit. 100%, dude. As I was watching that, I was like, this is just absurd. Like, there's no way this is actual possible, but it's a fun movie. I don't care what anybody says. It's a fun fucking movie. And then it's weird that they do it with the subway later in the movie. They do like the whole jump thing again. I'm like, why would you do the exact same thing fucking an hour later in the movie? But anyway, yeah. So I watched. I love Terminator 3. Like, Terminator 3 gets so much shit.
I don't mind Terminator 3.
I think Terminator 3 is fucking a great sequel.
Terminator 3 is okay. Like, I still think T2 is the best.
T2
Terminator
is the best.
2, 1, 3, 5, 4 probably for me.
You didn't see 6?
Oh, wait, there is 6 then.
So, this is what I'm going to say, is Terminator 3 is better than Terminator 1.
You think so?
I do.
I don't know if I think that.
I love Terminator 3. It is awesome.
I know you like. That's the one with the chick, right? With the girl Terminator?
Yeah. Terminator 4, hot garbage.
Yeah, that's the one with Christian Bale, right?
Yeah.
I remember that one being my least favorite. It
looks beautiful. It was shot really well. It was directed by Mick G, who did like the Charlie Angels 2 movies. It's well shot, but
really?
One with Bale's my favorite besides the second. Wow.
Damn.
Neil, that's a hot take.
That is a hot take. Sorry.
I disagree heavily. It's better than Genesis. Genesis is by far the worst one.
Genesis is the last one, right?
No, it's the 5th one. The 6th one's Dark Fate. 6th one I really liked, but I've only seen it once, so I'm gonna watch that, I think, either tomorrow or Monday. But
I only saw it once too, and I remember it being whatever.
I like 6 a lot, but I would say 5 is my least favorite. 4 is like my second least favorite. But yeah. Anyway, so I went on Terminator binge, and then Silo episode 9 came out yesterday. Yeah, nice. Friday. It is so fucking good, dude. This show is dynamite. Also an Apple TV joint, but awesome show. There's one episode left of the season, and like I can't fucking wait. It's fantastic. Nice. Obviously watch Secret Invasion and Sunny. Still watching still watching Platonic, still watching the Eric Andre show. Yes. And then there's 2 Netflix shows I watched. One's called Catching Killers, which is about like a cop documentary, basically about catching serial killers, bombers, shit like that. It's pretty interesting. Nice. And When Missing Turns to Murder, another Netflix show that's true crime based in the UK. Both had new seasons come out, so I watched both of those. Nice. But other than that, not a whole lot. Played a little bit of Diablo, but kind of been a busy week of movies. So
fair enough. Neil, what did you watch this week? Let's see what Neil has to say.
Neil's the one that I think got me on Silo a little bit. So
oh, nice.
Yeah. Before we get into our main topic,
yes.
The Moose Milk Media's dumpster fire from IMDb. Matt, you are the first contestant ever on a little game show I call Moose Milk Media's Dumpster Fire. Which one of these movies is the worst movie according to IMDb?
Oh shit! Like worst superhero movie or worst movie?
Worst? Well, these are all 4 superhero movies. Which one has the worst critical rating according to IMDb? We've got A, X-Men Origins Wolverine, B, Elektra,
I'm gonna
C,
say
Catwoman, or D, Batman and Robin.
God, that's fuck. I don't know. Like my mind wants to say X-Men Origins, but I think it did okay at the box office. So I'm gonna say
no, box office doesn't matter critically.
Okay. Sorry. Let's go Catwoman.
You are correct.
Yeah.
Fireworks! Woo! Hit that theme song.
What?
Oh, no theme song. Sorry.
No theme song.
We're too low budget.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, exactly. Catwoman has 3.4 on
Moose Milk
IMDb.
Media's Dumpster Fire. I like how this just appeared out of nowhere. This is what happens when I'm late. I leave you thinking
I had time.
crazy shit to do.
X-Men Origins Wolverine is actually the best rated one of those 4.
Huh, interesting.
6.5 on IMDb, which is way too fucking high. Way too fucking high. And that was the first ever Moose Milk Media Dumpster Fire from IMDb.
Oh, that's really good. I like that. Very good. Batman and Robin, only movie wanted to leave the theater from.
It's a bad fucking movie, but Uma Thurman's fucking sexy as shit in it, so that's the only good reason to watch.
And what about Mr. Freeze? He's pretty hot.
Freeze those nips. Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
We're on the same track right there.
We should make stickers that say blast those nips. And it can be like a dual, like a Moose Milk Media and fucking. It'd be cool if we could get like the moose, like ripping open a trench coat and just having the nips coming with like milk squirting out.
Yeah.
Blast those nips. That'd be a good sticker. We should do that. Or a t-shirt.
It'd be a great t-shirt, but sadly it's not.
On.
It's not.
Get your sister on the art. Get your sister on the art, please.
Yeah. Bane looks so bad. Yeah, Bane looked horrendous. It's one of the worst adaptations of any character ever. I mean,
terrible.
It's awful. But yeah, so let's talk Always Sunny.
Okay, let's talk Always Sunny. This week's episode was episode 4. Episode 4 or 3?
4. Frank versus Russia.
Frank versus Russia. What'd you think?
I thought it was excellent.
Yeah, I did too. I thought it was really funny.
I think by far best episode of the season.
Yeah, I agree.
I fucking died the entire episode.
Yeah, it was awesome. Very funny. I love everything. I like that we got the reverse Dennis system.
Yep.
The SIND system.
The SIND system of how to pick up men.
How to pick up men. That's so funny.
I
like how Glenn is just like close by or Dennis is close by to just fucking like catch them every time they fumble when they're on their dates or whatever, you know?
It was great. I loved that whole plot of everybody needing Dennis's help, it driving him crazy. He's like, I don't want to fucking help any of you. I just want to sit here. And then because they keep nagging him, he finally gives in. But like just the opening even of Dee's line of like, your girl got her guts pumped last night. And the way they look at her is like, ew, that's disgusting. Like it was just Rob's face in that moment of that actually being his wife and saying that is just so fucking good. And I love that. It cracked me up.
Yeah, that was great.
Like the whole chess thing, I don't even think needed to be included in the episode for it to work. But like,
yeah, but it worked great because in the end there was that payoff with the fucking vibrator in the ass too, right? Like that whole thing where he's just like,
yeah, it was great. I love Frank being called out for being homophobic. He's like, no, I'm not homophobic anymore. I saw him dance. I get it now. It's great. And then as soon as Max says like there's beads involved, he's like, I don't get it anymore. I didn't get there was no beads in the dance.
Oh shit. Yeah, that was so fucking funny, man. Honestly, like yeah, it was a really good episode. Again, like anytime they put callbacks in to like older episodes or like stuff from previous seasons and shit, I always appreciate those. So especially when I catch them because Always Sunny is still new to me. So there's some that kind of get by me where like I don't notice them, but yeah, this one had a few in it where I was like, oh god, that's great. I like when like he goes over the Dennis system and Charlie's like, oh my god, isn't that so coincidental that
Mac?
Or was it Mac? Yeah, Mac. Mac's like, oh my god,
coincidental that it's Dennis backwards. How did that happen? Because I planned it that way. And like even when he's like, I'm Johnny. I'm the one that's texting you. And he's like, then where's Dennis?
Can't ask spectators at chess matches. Whole episode was absurd.
It was great. So just Charlie being like, I thought this was a sports event. I'm not allowed to drink.
I like how he just will not take his eyes off the thing because he's recording it. And Uncle Jack being a fucking creeper with the ice cream truck.
So
and
gross.
He's like, wait, look at that kid. Look at the kid again. Look at that. Let me just grab a screenshot.
And then when he's like, he says something along the lines of like, sucking on that piece or something like that. And he's like, well, if that happens, make sure you get a screenshot. Yeah. And then like Charlie wanting an ice cream out of the truck or a push pop, and he's just like, I don't have ice cream in here. It's excellent.
Yeah, it was really, really funny, man. I had a fucking good time with this week's one. I watched it twice.
So did I.
Watched it on Thursday night, and then I watched it again on Friday night. So when Frank ordered from the ice cream truck.
So good.
Yeah, man.
I love that Uncle Jack's been in 2 episodes already.
Me too.
Like, he's great.
Uncle Jack is so funny. He's so weird. He's like, we could sleep over. It'll be like when we were kids.
Yeah. The whole episode was great. This is the best episode in like probably 2 or 3 seasons, in my opinion. Like I love this episode.
It was really, really funny. Did you say Megan wrote this one, or was this?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the one that Megan wrote.
Nice.
And next week I think is the one that the guys wrote. So
nice.
Hopefully we get 2 bangers in a row.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be awesome.
But yeah, Megan killed it with this episode. It was fucking hilarious.
It was a great one. I fucking loved it. Everything, and like again, just all the tie-in from what's Dennis's fake boyfriend that he uses for Mac? What's his name? Johnny. And he's like, and then he triggers the anal bead that's in my ass, and
I know to meet him at the hotel. So great, but he's never showed up. I've never seen him. But yeah, and then even like Dee, like she's just psychotic. Like, oh yeah, he stole my cell phone, and then he'll get me. How is he gonna call you, Dee? Oh yeah, I'm gonna need you to help me get my cell phone back.
I love that Dee gets worse and worse at being like hot at like
dating.
Yeah, like trying to pick people up. Like when the one part where he was like, I can't remember what the step it was in the sin system or whatever, but you like look, it cuts to her and she's like trying to grab his dick from under the table, and she's got like food all over her face. She's got her mouth open while she's chewing, and it's just like you just see her head. Just like, I'm trying to grab your junk.
Yeah, it's so great. I'm playing with your ding dong.
Playing with your ding dong.
And then Dennis walks over. It's like, no. So good. And then Mac, when he's like, I can't remember exactly what step it was, but he's like, talk about a previous boyfriend to make him feel intimidated or whatever. And Mac's like, I used to fuck LeBron James.
Fuck LeBron James.
So good. Yeah, the whole episode is a banger. Like top notch. Highly recommend.
Yeah, it was a really funny one. Yeah, it was a good one. It was definitely the best one of the season for sure so far. So yeah, if the next one's written by the guys, that'll be even better too. So
totally. Neil says they need to bring back the dude Dee was banging that gave her the car and split up with his family.
That guy's funny. He did come back at one point later in the season, didn't he?
Yeah, I think
he came back when they were trying to sell the timeshare thing, wasn't it?
Might be. I don't
know. I know Roddy Piper came back. A few people came back for that episode. Roddy Piper came back, and
yeah. I hope they do a callback at some point to like Dennis's kid and whatever. Like I hope that'd
be great.
That plot comes back to fuck him up somehow. But
that would be funny. That would be funny. Yeah, because they he just kind of came back, and it was like there was no questions asked, right?
Yeah, he actually says he's like, "Don't ask me any questions. I'm here," or something like that. Like, so I'd love that to be called back to at some point. But yeah, great episode.
Yeah, it was really, really funny. I quite enjoyed it. So we had a good time with it. So yeah, can't wait to see what next week is. So we're halfway through the season now, right? Because there's 8 or 10.
8, maybe. Yeah, sadly.
Yeah. Well,
that's the halfway point.
It's good so far. It's better than last season, I'd say.
Yeah, for sure. Sadly, we probably won't get another season for a year and a half or so.
Yeah. With the strike and everything.
Yeah, so we better enjoy this. You ever watch their podcast where
yes.
Yeah, oh yeah. Their podcast.
Yeah, I love the podcast. Yeah, podcast is very funny. They haven't been doing video ones lately though. They're all just audio again.
On Spotify, yeah. But you can watch them on YouTube.
Oh, so they're not doing video ones on Spotify anymore?
I don't know why that is, but
Oh,
I noticed that too, that there is no video on the
yeah.
Spotify app. But if you go to your YouTube channel, you can watch
Always
them
Sunny. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I'll have to
all.
do that. I did enjoy watching them. So
Yeah, I watched the last few, but yeah, I don't know. Their podcast is great. I highly recommend that too. Yeah.
yeah, me too. It's very funny. Very good.
Secret Invasion.
Secret Invasion.
What
Um,
what did you think? What do you what well
I liked it. It didn't like. I'm not like fucking doing backflips or anything, but I like
same,
where it's like going. I
same.
like. I mean, I think there's things about Secret Invasions that evasion that's like the fun part of it is like not knowing like
Who's a scroll?
what we can actually believe is legitly happening to these people versus like if it's just a scroll. Like,
Yeah.
so, even at the beginning, we kind of start with like Everett Ross, and we find out that pretty quickly we find out that he's a Skrull. So it's like, okay, where is this in the timeline of the MCU?
Well, it says present day, and
Oh, okay.
that was one of my big issues with it. Is
But
like,
didn't he get arrested at the end of Black Panther? I can't remember. I thought he did.
well, he might be arrested, but it's a scroll version of him, so it
But
doesn't
what I'm
matter.
saying is, if he's a Skrull, then
Well, the real person might not be a scroll. It could be a scroll just impersonating him. He could be in prison. They're not aware that he's in
I
prison.
kind of thought that when they impersonated somebody, they captured them. Because remember that scene where they kind of captured? Oh God, here we go. Isn't it about him entering Avengers holes unknowingly?
Neil always about the holes.
Because like that one part where they show like how like they take people's minds or like their memories and stuff like that. It's like those people are all kind of like in like status, like like not they're like kind of captured, right? And they're just kind of like in comas.
Well, that's what I didn't understand really, was like, because at the end Samuel L. Jackson has hit the scrolls impersonating him. Like,
Yeah,
it seems like the rules kind of apply when
change.
they need to, and
Yeah,
like, I mean, the entirety of the episode, I like, I mean, okay, we're going way out of order here, but like the whole setup for the end of the episode and the bombing and everything like that, I'm like, wouldn't it just been easier if you had a superhero involved in this instead of a bunch of spies? Like,
yeah,
why isn't Rhodey in the Iron Patriot suit or whatever? Like,
right.
anybody, any of these people? Where is all these heroes?
Yeah,
You've introduced 4,000 new superheroes over the last phase of the franchise, and none of them are around.
Yeah, good point. Good point.
It just didn't make sense to me. I'm like, if you knew that there was some major fucking terrorist attack going on, wouldn't you want eyes in the sky, like having Rhodey fly over, or like whatever, somebody? Where's Captain Marvel? Where's anybody that, like, Camilla? Anybody? I don't know. I don't understand it. But that was my biggest complaint about it. I was like, why do you have Samuel L. Jackson, who's like a 65-year-old man,
and he's kind of taking point
where he's kind of crippled and clearly has traumatic issues from the snap and everything like that. I love that they reference the snap.
Me too. Like, very cool.
Yeah, like I love that there's little, like, you're seeing effects from the snap, which was not really a part of phase 4. It was just like, yeah, it happened, but we're not really talking about it.
But we're not talking about it.
Why? That would,
I will say,
fuck up everybody.
It is pretty wonderful to see Samuel L. Jackson back as Nick Fury, because he is pretty fucking great as Nick Fury.
I love Nick. I love Samuel L. Jackson, and I love Nick, and like I wish he was a part of the franchise more. And like I hope,
me too,
this doesn't end with him dying or something, because like I hope he sticks around. I like that. Like, I like the idea of this isn't a superhero show; it's more of a spy show. But like, also, you've set up the universe to be a superhero world.
Yeah.
And then you're having these events where there's no superheroes involved, and it doesn't really make sense.
Right.
And that was my big like issue with the entire premise, is like it doesn't seem like it's got like a
realistic
flow. Yeah.
For the universe.
Yeah.
You make a good point though. It's like, we spent the last phase basically introducing new people. So not only do we have a bunch of old people still around, but now we have all these new people. and now no one's being used or referenced, or it's just kind of
like don't you think when you're searching out these like knapsacks with like the neon spray paint on it that it would be helpful if you had like, I don't know, Spider-Man that could just like web the bags to him and get rid of them, or anybody, I don't know, like
just Rhodey
like or
said, just Rhodey with the War Machine suit could fucking smack him up and fucking just bring him up in the sky and let him blow up. And
Doctor Strange using his magic, Wanda using her psychic ability, like I don't know, that was my biggest complaint about it. I like that they weren't shying away from the whole Russia angle of the show, which right now it's pretty hot button topic. So it's like I'm surprised that they wanted to do like a Russian villain thing, but I liked it. I liked the episode, but like I just think this was a massive setup episode, and like we're not really getting to like the meat of the.
That's okay. For the first episode, I can allow. Yeah. It's funny because me and Ryan talked before. We don't often talk about what we watched until the pod, just so we can get genuine.
Yeah.
But every once in a while we do. And we both had the same thing happen. We both watched it Tuesday night and fell asleep watching it and had to rewatch it the next day.
Yeah. So. I came home Wednesday morning and I was like, oh, I'm fucking pumped to watch this. And I'm not putting that one up. Sorry, Neil. I came home and I was so excited to watch it. And then like 20 minutes into the episode, I fell asleep. And I woke up and it was like the last little segment of the episode. And I was like,
that's what happened to me too.
Fuck. So then I was like, all right, I got to watch this again when I'm like wide awake and make sure I can get into it. But I don't know. I thought it was very like kind of hard to follow at some points too. Like they introduced like all these different scrolls and I'm like, I don't know any of these fuckers' names. Like it's like all like
I noticed it. I caught it. I was better with it the second viewing, kind of once I kind of heard the name thrown around a couple times. Like it was easier for me to remember that I knew who they were talking about, but
I don't know. I just found it kind of like, I don't know. I maybe I just wasn't a big enough Captain Marvel fan or whatever, but I just didn't remember.
Well, they didn't reference any of those people in Captain Marvel. So
Talos,
Talos, yeah. And like his daughter was introduced there.
I don't remember her name.
Yeah, I don't think they said her name, or at least I don't remember. And then I think his wife was at least mentioned by name, and she was in Captain Marvel too, but
I didn't remember any of that shit, man. I was just like, I don't know, like Gleep Gloop and Uncle Ted, and like they're all just random ass names. I'm like, I don't fucking know any of these guys, but I mean, hopefully they'll stick around. But like, I don't know what like the real like plot end game of this show is. Like, I was thinking about it, like, how does this tie into the rest of the MCU? Like, you're gonna banish the Skrulls?
Are you kidding me? This could be like that. That's the thing that makes me excited for this is like. You could go in so many different directions here, and in how you leave it, you don't even have to wrap it up. You can just wrap up Nick's part in the story. You could leave with Skrulls still being out there and tease like so many different things about who they're being or who they're portraying in the world, and like think of the ramifications you could have moving forward, not knowing if they're actually Skrulls or if they're actually the people they say they are.
Right, and I like that. I like that idea, but it's also such an easy cop out, right? Like,
but
you could be like, this character died, but it was a Skrull.
Like, as long as they do something cool with it, I guess is what I'm saying. Like, if it's just like, they're a Skrull, but now Hawkeye's back.
Well, that's my worry.
Like, that wouldn't be as good. But I mean, if they took advantage of the fact that they had these people that are all like, captive and, not playing their roles, instead being replaced by Skrulls, man, you could do a lot of cool shit with that. And like, you could have a lot of fun with that. So
I just don't know what the like end story could be. Like, to me, it's like, what is the win here? Like, you banish the Skrulls from Earth. Okay, that's probably not likely because they just go into hiding and be disguised, right? So then you're going to keep this storyline going with like a season 2, or like, is that part of the next phase of like, how does this tie into like Kang and the multiverse shit? And like, I don't know. Like, I don't know how this ties into the rest of what the phase of the movies are going through right now. Like, is this just a standalone thing they're going to keep to the Disney Plus. Like,
I
don't
bet
know.
this will be semi standalone in the sense that they'll leave us with just that question of like, are there still Skrulls out there impersonating people that we know? But I think it will wrap up Nick's story, and I think it will ultimately get the Skrulls to either like their own world, their own home world. So like, you know what I mean? Like they're saying like Talos's daughter is doing what she's doing because she's, you know, pissed that, you know, after all this time they still don't have their own place to call home, kind of thing, right?
Right. It's been like 30 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what up, Southtown Pain Apps?
Southtown Pain says, "What up, guys? I actually liked this first episode. No superheroes, just a good espionage thriller story, but it's still only one episode. Hopefully, it keeps the same theme over the next 5. Yeah, like I said, I do like that aspect of it. That it's an espionage thriller and like really a callback to Winter Soldier and stuff like that. But I also just don't think it makes sense for the universe when there's all these superheroes and there's like all these problems that are going on could be easily fixed just getting a superhero involved."
And it's not like Nick doesn't know them. You know what I mean? Like, you know, Nick has the pull, right?
He's got them in his phone. I mean,
yeah.
Jesus Christ. Neil, you're on fire, buddy.
Neil, fuck, man.
Yeah. I hope it does carry on the same like vibe for the next 5 episodes, but like I don't know. I just my biggest thing was like, how does it fit in with the MCU? And I just don't get it. I don't know how do you fit this in with Kang? Is this completely non-together?
Yeah, I don't think these are together.
So like, do we get a season 2 of the show, or does this tie into like one of the Avenger movies?
I bet we don't. I bet this is where we end it. Like, I mean, I guess it's hard to say, right?
Like,
weird. I will say though that like, I feel like they didn't really do a great job at promoting this. Like my friend Sean, he's a big MCU guy. Like, I mean, he's been feeling like kind of the fatigue of it, like we have as well. But when the day it came out, the next morning, he messaged me and he's like, you can tell I'm kind of out of tune with the MCU stuff. He's like, I didn't even know that Secret Wars Sacred Invasion started yet. Yeah, I heard that from a few people who were like, "Oh shit, I didn't know that had already started."
It's hard, right? Because I don't know, like, are they advertising this on normal television and we're just not seeing it because we don't watch normal television?
Yeah.
Is there promotions elsewhere? Or well, yeah, it's supposed to be a secret, says Neil. That's great. Like I don't know if there was any promotion for it or not, but I also feel like Disney is worrying about like too much content for people, and I think like even though they've said, oh, we're gonna taper it back a little bit, I think they're also worried that like if it's too in your face, people are just gonna be like, shut the fuck up, like we don't want to deal with this, right? So it's great.
It's very funny, Neil. Very funny.
I don't know. I don't know if it's being promoted or not. I have a feeling nobody's gonna watch this. I just do.
I like it. Like I'm not saying I don't like it. But I think the thing that you're saying about like bringing in a big hero, like while like, do
we get Rhodey in the Iron Man suit at all? Do you think?
No, I don't think so.
See, I think like they have to.
I mean, they would be great, but I think the thing is when you do that, it just kind of takes care of everything. So in a way, you know, that could kind of be a cop out from telling a good story too, because it's like, hey, this is going to happen. Oh, Rhodey's here. Never mind. Now it's not going to anymore because he just dealt with it.
But I also feel like now that the bombs have gone off, it would be more interesting if like the U.S. military / Rhodey gets involved and is like, all right, we can't let this happen again. And then like say episode 2 or 3, you know, it's in New York City or it's in wherever, you know, another major city, and it's like they're bombing another city and it's like, you know, Rhodey's trying to stop it before it happens or whatever. We could get him in the suit, or even, you know, the last episode of the series if they don't want to blow the budget. And like I hope it kind of happens as like, all right, we're not taking shit anymore. Like Rhodey, get up there and fucking do your thing. And you know, he's in there, you know, shooting lasers and shit. Yeah, I don't know why I made squirrel noises. He's not a squirrel.
That's what Rhodey does.
Yeah,
he scrolls with his mouse.
Yeah, exactly. But
going through my weapons list.
Yeah, I don't know. I liked it, but it wasn't like crazy where it was like,
Yeah,
oh
same.
man, they blow your mind. You got to go watch Secret Invasion. Like I hope it picks up and I hope it gets better and better. But like I think all the critics got the first 2 episodes and they said it was like pretty slow. So
yeah, that's what I read too. So Town Painaf said, I think the series would have made sense right after Endgame had they decided that Phase 4 dealt with the consequences after the blip, kind of like what Falcon and Winter Soldier kind of hinted at. Yeah, they did a pretty good job with that too. Actually, I feel like some of them, like Hawkeye, kind of did that, kind of dealt with the blip a little bit too. Because remember when Yelena came back and she basically blipped out in that bathroom, and when she blipped back in, it was like wallpapered in like a different bathroom, and she came out, she's in like some family's fucking house, like
right. They have talked about it here and there and like scattered throughout, but like it hasn't been a main theme of, I mean, even like, you know, Wanda's talked about it and like, you know, all that stuff, but like it hasn't been like a real through line through, like you think that would be a very traumatic event for worldwide and like they'd be dealing with that, like that would be Phase 4 is like the repercussions of everything that happened there, and they've kind of skipped over that in a lot of the series and the shows.
And when they touch on it, it's very lightly, like it's just
yeah, so like I like that they're talking about it and like even showing Samuel L. Jackson get flipped out, like it was like,
the fuck,
yeah, it's great. So yeah, but like even the Falcon Winter Soldier aspect is like we got that kind of espionage kind of thing going on a little bit in that series too, and like I would love if like maybe Cap shows up at some point, new Cap, you know,
that'd be great.
Fucking, you know, Winter Soldier at some point comes in and does something. Like I just wish like these shows kind of intermingled as much as like the movies were supposed to, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I guess I don't know if I'm just excited for the for what kind of opportunities this show kind of has available to it, like, or if it's just that I like it, like, you know, I can't tell if I'm excited because of what it is or what it could be, like.
Sure.
So I kind of hope that I don't get myself too excited for something crazy and then it just kind of flops or is lackluster. I'm approaching cautiously but optimistically.
No, and I think that's the right way to approach pretty much everything at this point is like,
yeah,
none of the shows really have knocked it out of the park since Loki. I mean, I guess kind of Ms. Marvel, but I don't know, like none of the shows have blown me away really. So like I don't want to get my hopes up too high, but like I hope it's great. I hope it builds up to something, and like probably because we're not going to get another major series anytime soon other than Echo, which is supposed to be hot garbage. You know, this might be the last series we get for like a year.
Yeah. Neil says, what I loved about Secret Invasion comics was Skrulls infiltrated everything. Avengers were compromised. X-Men as well. It was done on such a grand scale and made it epic. I mean, the thing is it would be great if we got that here, but I feel like this, I can't tell if this is going to be like the introduction to something grander.
Well, the problem is too, before you even get into that, it was like the writer of the show was told not to read the comics.
Ooh.
That they wanted his interpretation of what that would be. The basic premise of what the Secret Invasion was he was told, and then basically what his adaptation would be in this universe of the MCU. From what I read is like he didn't read the comics at all.
I mean, I'm fine with them not being on par with the comics because I think I said this multiple times, but like I don't want to know what's going to happen going into it. I like that these play out differently than the comics. I just wish that they would do those subtle nods better than they do.
I think you need a bit of both, right? Like, I think you need to make it original, but you also need to have those fan moments from the comics that like people know and love. And I think that was the biggest problem with all the X-Men movies is like you try to adapt Dark Phoenix and it's like, what the fuck is this? Like, you went out on your own and it sucked. So like, why not just take what they did in the comics and actually adapt it? But in this regard,
they decided to take a second crack at it, and it was equally as bad as the first time.
Right, exactly. And so like, when I think of this, I'm like, you know, I love the idea of like Skrulls infiltrating the Avengers, but we don't really have the Avengers right now. So like, how do you do that? it would be interesting if the Skrulls like were in like the White House and it was like the president was a Skrull and like all that shit, and like the military.
See, I think that is how this is going to end. I think we're going to find out that the president is a Skrull, because I heard that the plan is that Thunderbolt Ross is supposed to be the president come Captain America.
Harrison Ford now, right?
Which is Harrison Ford, yeah.
I don't know if I love that casting, but I mean, I love
Harrison. I can tell you that I definitely do not like that casting. I do like Harrison Ford, but to me,
that's not Thunderbolt Ross.
No. How do you go from William Hurt to...
Yeah, William Hurt was perfect.
Yeah, I know. Damn guy.
Yeah, fucker. No, yeah, I think that is like the route to go, is like, yeah, the military is compromised, the president, White House is compromised. Like
it would just be cool to be able to see how high up it goes, right?
World leaders all over the world
are really infiltrated. We're not talking about like a gang of fucking grumpy Skrulls. We're talking about people operating the government at the highest level.
Right, and that's what I mean, is like, let's not just focus on Russia. Let's like, the first episode is in Russian base. Okay, let's zoom out into New York, or let's zoom out to Tokyo, or let's zoom out to wherever and go like, oh shit, like London, England. Whatever, the prime minister of England is a Skrull, and like there's a bombing in England, and like it's like, well, fuck, like they could pop up anywhere. Like we don't even know who's who and what's what, and I like that aspect, is like you constantly would have that spy espionage thing. I was shocked at how many of like old like Everett Ross dying, or whatever, Skrull dying. I don't know exactly what you want to call it. And then at the end of the episode, fucking
Maria Hill.
Yeah, Hill dying. So
that was surprising. I was very surprised. Yeah. But again, like maybe she's a Skrull too. You never know.
We don't know, and that's the cop out that I'm worried about. But
that's also the fun too.
It is, but
to me,
I don't want the same script, but just feel Marvel hasn't done anything on grand scale besides Loki on Disney when compared to Star Wars. Definitely has on Disney Plus. Sure. Yes, that's a very fair point, but also you got to remember Disney Plus is bombing. They're losing millions and millions and millions of dollars, and Disney can afford it, but you're going to have people in very high up positions in Disney going, we're not spending $200 million on the show because we're not making the money back.
Make it back. Yeah.
And all the movies are not doing it anywhere near what they used to. So like they're going to definitely taper down how much they're spending on these things, because they're not making the same amount of money back.
Yeah, fair. Hey, off topic, but kind of on topic in regards to Disney Plus shows, Star Wars in particular. But remember the guy who made the theatrical version of Obi-Wan Kenobi by cutting out all the fluff and just made a movie out of like the episodes? Yep. Someone made 2 Boba Fett movies based on Book of Boba Fett, and apparently it plays like way fucking better.
Well, it's like we said, that entire series is like, there's a good version of the show somewhere. It's just not the show.
Yeah. Well, I have it bookmarked to watch. I haven't watched it yet, but yeah, my friend sent it to me, and I was like, oh fuck, that's cool. He said it was really good too. He said particularly the stuff with the Sand People was great, as like one story segment, rather than a bunch of fucking episodes.
Sure. Yeah, I don't know. I'm very interested to see where the show goes, and I hope that, like, since it's only 6 episodes, we get no fluff episodes, we get no filler episodes. It's
that'd be great.
All banger 50-minute, hour-long episodes of like.
Yep, that'd be great. Yeah, I'm like I said, I'm hopeful, but I also feel like they're not taking risks much with these TV shows. So,
well, I think they're in flux a lot. I think I don't think there's a good solid plan like there was in the first 3 phases. Like I think that's the problem. Is like they're very timid, and they don't want
pants, right? Like they're all flying on the seat of the
Well, they just put out too much content at once, and I think it's just like content overload. How do we put things out at the same pace or a quicker pace, but as quality as it was? Like I just don't think
and how do you make everyone care about all this stuff too, right? That's another thing, is
like we've always said, like there's so many people that's bounced out of the MCU because of content overload.
A
lot of my friends have stopped watching the shows because they're just like, it's too much.
Well, the thing is if they're not carrying their weight, then
why bother,
right?
I think one day we could do an episode on just like what is the mandatory stuff that you have to watch to really appreciate the MCU. Fun. And it's like, we could really narrow it down to probably like 15 movies and 2 or 3 shows, like if you really think about it. Yeah. Like instead of, we could probably cut it in half, if not more.
I would say yes, for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, that'd be a fun episode to do. Neil, of course, they're bombing. Everyone wanted Avengers, X-Men, Punisher, Ghost Rider shows, and instead we got Miss Marvel and She-Hulk. Give the masses what they want instead of just trying to please the minorities. Yeah, well, I think what they were trying to do is really expand the universe and not give us the characters that everybody wanted just because they're like, look at Iron Man. Iron Man was a B character that nobody really gave a shit about before Iron Man, right? Like, Guardians of the Galaxy, I didn't know shit about before the Guardians of the Galaxy movie. I knew nothing about it. I didn't care for it. I watched that first trailer and I thought that movie was going to be hot garbage. And it's one of my favorite films out of the entire MCU. So I think that they're trying to hit that lightning strike again of like, we know what Wolverine is. We know what, well, we never really got in a good Ghost Rider movie, but like, we know what these characters are. Let's give them something that they don't know what it is and try to catch that lightning in a bottle again. But the problem with doing that is, you get misses. And to me, like Moon Knight was a huge miss. I thought that show sucked.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan. I think the hard part about what Neil's saying there too is like, even if you're not going to give us what everybody wants, don't give us rehashes. Like that's the problem. Is like we get She-Hulk, we get Kate Bishop, we get like
you know the same character,
Ironheart. We get basically the same thing, but just like female versions or whatever, right? And it's like
gender swap.
I'm not saying that there's not like a place for that, but it's just like if you're replacing Hulk with Hulk and Hawkeye with Hawkeye and Iron Man with Ironheart and like you're not really doing anything.
And what differentiates the characters, like the same character, besides the gender or the race or whatever? Like they need a different backstory. They need a reason to be cheering for that character. And like, why do I cheer for Ironheart? I know nothing about the character. There was nothing in that movie that made me go, fuck yeah, I love this character.
Yeah, you didn't like that character.
It was fine. I liked the idea of the character, but I was like, they didn't have enough time in the movie for me to care.
Yeah.
She-Hulk show was, in my opinion, probably the worst Disney Plus show. Like, do I want another She-Hulk season? No.
Yeah.
Where does she show up? Like, there's all these rumors of World War Hulk or whatever. I'll believe it when I see it, but like, is that we're waiting 2, 3, 4 years for this character to come back and appear in something else? Like,
but we're gonna that's inevitable. That's the thing, especially now that they've scaled back the release schedule. I mean, when you have 25 active characters and you're putting out 5 things a year, you're gonna wait 3, 4, 5 years before you see some of these guys again. It's the reality of it.
But then like you need to have a character that you care about in the middle of that, right? Like you need an X-Men, then you need a Punisher, then, or you need whatever to mix it up. Like, okay, if we're not going to see all these characters that you're introduced until 2026 when this next Avengers movie comes out, you need a big fucking movie somewhere in here where I'm going, fuck yeah, I got Wolverine, I got Punisher, whatever. Like they're not doing that, so it's like, I don't know. You're expecting people to go to the theater for all these movies, and it's like, well, nobody cares. These aren't the characters anybody wants to see. I don't know.
Did you see that rumor that they're saying that Deadpool 3 is basically going to be like No Way Home for the X-Men universe, for the Fox X-Men universe?
Yeah, I did see that.
That could be interesting, maybe.
I think there'll be a lot of cameos that won't be in the movie very long, but like I would not be shocked to see like Halle Berry Storm in there, or like
me neither. I heard that there's rumors that they've approached her.
Yeah, I saw
same with Ian McKellen, same with what's his name?
She posted on Instagram, I believe, of like she had gray short hair. Yeah, and like people were like, "Oh, okay, well she's preparing for Storm, clearly." Whether that's true or not, who knows? I mean,
yeah.
But
the only person that's not coming back from the Deadpool movies is apparently Domino's not coming back. Did you hear that?
Yeah, that's sad. That she didn't really have a fit in this movie. Apparently,
that fucking sucks. I loved her. Yeah. So we're gonna get Cable, but not get Domino. That seems weird.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I guess it just depends really what the story is, right? Like if they're really focusing on Wolverine, I assume that like they don't want too many main characters, probably.
Yeah, maybe. Neil says, wish they would do more one-off specials like they did with Werewolf by Night. Honestly, that's been my favorite Marvel Disney Plus content yet.
Isn't there another one coming out in October? Like not Werewolf by Night, but like another special?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe. Throw them out there and see if fans want more. Yeah, for
Well,
sure.
like I've
I
said,
think it's a good idea.
Since fucking episode, I don't know, 12 or whatever of this show, man. Like I want X-Men. This is all I've wanted for years and years and years, is a good X-Men movie. And like they keep dragging it out and pushing it farther and farther back. And it's like now we're looking at 2028 probably before we get an X-Men movie, if not later.
By the time we get X-Men, we're gonna all be out of it. Like,
right. And like that sucks, man. It really sucks, because I really would love a good X-Men movie.
I mean, it would be great to. The thing is, for me, is like I would love a great X-Men movie, but I would also love a great X-Men movie that takes place in a world that I love, that like I've seen get built up from the ground up, right? So like,
yeah, well, I mean, I don't know, to me, like the end of this phase or whatever of this saga of story with all the multiverse shit and whatever, there's gonna be a grand reset.
Yeah.
And it's basically going to be what DC just did with Flash, is like, here's the reset. Now here's X-Men in this new universe that, you know, they can reset up and reintroduce whatever characters they want to keep and throw out the rest.
I have to tell you that I am so over the multiverse. I fucking honestly could not give a flying fuck. It's so boring to me.
Well, it's just because everything's doing it now.
And it's just because it's like nothing is guaranteed. Nothing is like, it takes all of the stakes out of everything. Like, it's just,
but it's like the trend, right? Like,
I know.
Remember, like there was like a 10-year period where everything had to be a zombie show, right? Everything was zombies, and that trend fucking ended. And like before that, everything was vampires. You had fucking Twilight and fucking Blade and all that shit. Then that phase ended, and it's like now we're in the phase of multiverse shit where everybody wants a multiverse. And
good point.
It'll end. People will get tired of it, and it will go away, and then there'll be a next thing. Armor Wars, Secret Invasion, Thunderbolts are like one theme, and yet we're also dealing with multiverse themes. It's like no real clue what to know or care about with Phase 4, and that's exactly what I'm saying. Is like, how does this mesh in together? I don't know how they fit this all together, unless that second Avengers movie, whatever the fuck it's called, the one that's not Kang, the other one. Maybe that's what this is going to all tie into, is like that buildup of the Skrull War or whatever they want to call it.
Maybe. Well, I think Secret Wars is what
is it?
And Secret Wars in the comics, the last
I can't remember.
The Secret Wars, well, that's the last, because it goes Kang Destiny and then Secret Wars.
Okay, so that's
Secret Wars
2027 now.
Yeah, so Secret Wars in the comics in 2016, I think there's been one since, but I think there was like 2015 or 16. That's what they used to like basically build the new Marvel universe. So they folded in like the Ultimate Universe and like a bunch of other ones, and basically like that's how like Miles came into like, because Miles was part of the Ultimate Universe in Marvel, not part of the regular 616 universe. Right. And then when Secret Wars happened, everything kind of folded in on itself, and Miles came to the 616 all of a sudden, and like now he's there. And
I mean, that's got to be the next Spider-Man movie, right? Like they have to introduce Miles as like a main character.
I would be okay with them waiting still a little bit more for Miles. I'm fine with getting my fill of Miles in animated style. I'm good with that. But I think they did say that the next Into the Spider-Verse is the last one. I think they said.
Sure. I think they said that it was like designed as a trilogy kind of thing. But like also,
so maybe after that we'll get Miles in a live action.
Well, I just think that Tom Holland wants out.
Like, really? I don't get that vibe.
I do. I definitely do. He's talked so much about how overworked he is, how tired he is. He wants to take a year off. He wants to have a family.
But they can just Robert Downey Jr. him. That's the thing. Like,
well, yeah, you could Robert Downey Jr. anything.
That was RDJ too, right? Like RDJ, like he started by being in the suit all the time, and then the second one he was like a little bit less. And by the time we got to Endgame, he showed up for like a few minutes, and fucking the rest of it was all CGI. So they can do that with Spider-Man.
$35 million.
Yeah, they could do that with Spider-Man.
I'm not saying they can't, but I'm saying
Tom walked in there and was like, "I want to work 50% less." They'd be like, "All right, sure, whatever we need to do to keep you."
I'm not saying that they wouldn't do that. I'm just saying I have a feeling that Tom Holland's just gonna be like, "I want this to be my last movie. Like, I want to go in and like really end this whole Spider-Man saga. Like, I want to take a year off. I want to whatever." He's been talking about how he wants to get married and have kids and all this shit. Like, I really think that he's just going to tap out for like a year and a half, 2 years, and just say like, I'm done. And
but the thing is you could do that without stepping away from Spider-Man. Especially going back to what we were just talking about. You've got 25 heroes and 5 movie slots a year, four movie slots a year at best.
Yeah, we're not even getting another Spider-Man movie probably till 2026.
That's what I mean.
2027.
Like, he could take 3 years off and it wouldn't matter. Like, doesn't matter.
I don't know. I just look at it as like, I think they need to start setting up the pegs for Miles Morales to take over as Spider-Man, and like maybe Tom Holland does like basically the RDJ like type aspect of like being the like supervisor of the new Spider-Man, and like, you know, man in a chair type aspect of like, hey, I'm retiring and I got this family, and like I'm in the movie for 12 minutes, and you know, I'm just a kind of a cameo at that point, you know. But
honestly, my thought is we're gonna get 3 more Spider-Man Tom Holland movies. I bet you Miles shows up in the second one and maybe is part of the third one, and he hands over the ranks to him at that point. But the thing, like, we just got to the point where we can start fresh with Spider-Man without having to recast. So like, I have a hard time believing that they're just like, you know, the biggest complaint everybody had about Tom Holland Spider-Man was that he's basically Iron Man Jr. We're at a point now where he can't rely on Iron Man because he's dead. He's starting fresh because nobody knows who he is, including his friends and family. So now's the time where you could build a story around whatever you wanted. And
you got to think that this is the introduction to Gwen Stacy, right? Like, he meets Gwen in 4. He's in college or whatever. Like they age him up a little bit, and nobody knows who he is, and he's still kind of looking after
MJ and Ned.
Yeah. He's still looking out for them, but he's out of their lives. He doesn't want to endanger them.
Yeah.
And he's doing his thing, and he's, you know, basic ass Spider-Man. And like that is great. Like, that's what I want to see. Give me New York Spider-Man zipping around in a normal Spider-Man suit.
Fuck yeah.
And I'm down. But like, I do hope at some point they do a good Venom aspect symbiote suit type thing somewhere. I would love to see that. I don't know how you do it with all the bullshit that they're doing with Venom, but like, yeah. I would love. I mean, did you watch that?
The Craven trailer?
The Craven trailer?
Yeah, I did.
Woo, that's bad.
You know, like, it's funny. Like, we always talk about wanting it to be a bit more like dark and bloody when it comes to characters who like need it. But it's like, when I watched that, I was like they might as well have just put blood in this just to put blood in it. Like, it's like, hey, you see, there's blood. It's like every time he punched someone, like an unrealistic amount of fucking blood came out of their face. Like, punch someone in the face, and it's like somebody like took a paint can and just. It's like, dude, you're missing the point. Like, I get what you're trying to do, but you're missing the point.
It looks bad.
It doesn't look great.
It looks worse than Morbius.
Yeah, you know what? It's funny because my friend said, I think this will be the first Marvel superhero movie that I don't see opening night, and I said, "Oh, I'm seeing it opening night."
Oh, we're definitely seeing it opening night.
I'm gonna rip this thing in half.
We're doing a full fucking 2-hour episode on that baby.
Well, remember how much fun we had with Morbius?
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's content. That's fun.
So bad. Yeah, it's so true. Craven trailer was part John Wick meets Morbius.
Yeah.
And we all know how well Morbius was.
Neil said, hey, now multiverse content is our only hope to throw out Star Wars movies 7 and 9. Yeah, well, I don't think Disney will ever do that.
They're not going
to. Sadly, I think
I'm fine with that. Honestly, I hate 9 a lot, and I don't love 8 particularly. But I'm fine with just accepting that it's out there, and we'll just move along. Like, you can try to fix it using comic books and novels and video games and shit like that. That's cool. I'm good with that.
Or just move on and tell me.
Or just leave it.
Yeah,
just leave it.
Just leave it alone now. It's done.
Yep. It's done. Yeah, let it go.
And like, I hope the next trilogy or whatever the fuck they're doing is awesome, and like we get the right people involved and the right directors involved, and they have a cohesive idea for the trilogy of movies, and not just like, hey, you do your thing, and the next guy's going to do his thing, and the next guy's going to do his thing, and let's try to tie it all together at the end. And it's like, well, that didn't work.
Isn't it weird, though, that the company that made, Disney being behind the wheel for, the first 3 phases of Marvel,
right?
And, like, they know what makes it successful because they fucking did it. But isn't it crazy that they just cannot translate that to anything else? Like,
I think, and I mean, I'm just off the top of my head here. I think it's hard once the money people get involved. and the creatives have less say. And I think when they started this thing, they didn't know what they had, and it kind of just fell in their lap. And there wasn't that oversight of like big money people steering the ship. I think they were just let those nerds do their thing over there. Like, we don't give a shit. Let them have their fun. We're gonna make the real money with the fucking animated Disney, pictures or the Pixar shit. And then they realize, oh fuck, there's nerds everywhere and they love this shit. Let's fucking bleed them dry. Let's fucking shove this down their throat. Yeah, exactly. And now they're like, all right, how do we monetize this to the highest possible ability? How do we make the most money? And I think that's why you see some of these directors kind of getting pushed out on certain films, and like people saying like, oh yeah, I didn't really want to do this, but I had to tie it into the overarching story of and I think that's why Guardians was so well done. Is James Gunn's like, I'm out. I don't give a fuck what you guys want. Like, this is my last movie. I'm going to DC, so this is my movie. It doesn't have to tie into everything because I don't give a fuck. I think that's why it works.
Yep, I agree. Well, I guess when you're focused on telling a story rather than forwarding the universe, I think that's a good thing. But it's just like we've said a few times, like it's just unfortunate that like they can't find a good, meaningful way to put that into the movies without it feeling forced. Because it is like an all-star player, really. Like, but the MCU as a whole. I mean,
but you also got to remember too is like the early movies didn't have to tie into the overarching world outside of the credit teasers.
Yeah,
and like I feel like now they're trying to tie it into the main feature of the
film.
Yeah, I agree. But like you don't have to do that. Just tag something in the trailer or in the credits that makes me go like, oh shit, this is what's coming next, and it ties in, and this is
moves it forward,
and this moves it forward in a 30-second credit stinger, and that's all you need.
And it gets you excited too, right? So
and then the movies end up being better that way anyway. Like we got a great movie, and I'm excited for the next movie.
And
you always want that but yeah, I don't know. I would love to say that I have high hopes for the Marvels and like the next Captain America movie and everything like that. But I just don't know what those movies are going to be. Really, that's gonna.
I know, me neither.
That's going to be like, yes.
We'll see. Like we've said, I think the Marvels looks fun. It looks more fun than my excitement level was ready for. So,
and maybe this Secret Invasion sets that up a little bit.
I mean, it would make sense. They literally directly tie into each other. So,
well, that's what I mean.
I fucking hope they do.
Maybe this really tees up, like, oh, this is the end of this. So. The end of the season tees up the Marvels real well. And
I sure hope so.
Yeah, me too. It'd be great.
We'll see.
I don't have faith, but it'd be great. Yeah, so I think that's going to do it for this a little bit of a longer late time episode. But next week we'll do Secret Invasion episode 2, and we'll do Always Sunny episode 5.
Yeah.
I think that's it. What are you doing Web Wednesday this week?
So kinda. So I'm supposed to have my buddy Sean, Enemy Zero, on with me on Wednesday, and then he messaged me and he's like, hey, I got movie premiere tickets for Indiana Jones Wednesday night. Do you want to come? And I was like, you were my guest anyway, so sure, I guess. So we're actually going to do Whip Wednesday on Friday next week instead of Wednesday. So Wednesday we're going to go see Indiana Jones, and then Friday we're going to do the live stream. So
it's going to be a Freaky Friday.
A Freaky Friday. Yeah, exactly.
That's all I had. I couldn't think of anything else.
That's a great idea. I should try to find a figure that looks like Sean, and we could switch our faces, and we can hold on to a videotape and say whatever they say. I don't remember what they say.
I'm just reading Neil's comment here that we didn't get to. Marvel needs to expand in different areas so content doesn't need tie-ins. Can have cosmic space content, horror, X-Men, and all considered in its own little area. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Different genres, different styles. I think they try to do that a little bit, but I also think that Disney dampens that because they want it to be family friendly, and they don't want something massively horror going to,
maybe once they see how well Deadpool performs at an R rating, they might come around a bit,
I just hope that movie's good, because if that movie's like bad and then like they're like, well, look, it's R rated and nobody went and seen it. It's like
the thing is if anything upcoming is going to be bad, it's not going to be Deadpool. Deadpool's got a huge following, and the fact that Hugh Jackman's back too is another very positive.
I'm more worried about the writer's strike aspect of it than
fair.
Like Ryan Reynolds not being able to ad lib and like all that kind of shit. Where I'm like, if they're hurrying this movie to production because they want this for May, that's what I'm worried about.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Anyways, so make sure you subscribe to Matt's channel on YouTube as well at Customs by Matthew on YouTube, so that you can see Freaky Friday next Friday.
Yeah, Freaky Friday. Come hang out.
Give me your thoughts next week on Indiana Jones.
I will.
I'll be curious to hear that. Also follow him on Instagram at Customs by Matthew. You can follow me at Moose Milk Media. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel and grab the podcast on podcast services because that helps our numbers too. We're trying to grow. But thanks everybody for sticking around. This was a great lively chat.
Sorry I was so late, but I mean it was nice because there was a lot of people in here, so that kind of worked.
Yeah, I did not think we were going to have anybody because of how late we were going, and we've had
oh shit, I'm like an hour late, but
we had the most bumping episode since
for a minute.
So thanks everybody for checking us out, and we'll see you next Saturday.
Yeah, hell yeah. Bye everybody. Peace.
See you guys.